Just when I thought I could start the day, a peaceful start to the esports news day, and I can't even wear glasses on the set. If you guys remember the old set, I tried wearing glasses all the time, and you guys could see all the reflections, and here, it turns out there's an equal amount of reflection, so that also makes me angry, but I hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to more esports news, and another story around Team Denial and, of course, their owner and former CEO. He took a step down from the CEO role just a couple weeks ago because of other allegations about not paying players, and now, just as of yesterday as well, more allegations from players out there apparently being scammed by Zach and Team Denial. This time, though, through PayPal, of all things. And if you guys somehow have no idea of the Denial story so far, I feel bad, okay? I've had so many videos about them, I have to re-explain it almost every time. Quick TLDR, old Denial owner did not pay their players. New one steps in, that being Zach. He steps in as a CEO as well as the owner. He has now stepped down as the CEO. He promises, though, to pay both the old players and, of course, the current players working under him or of his existing teams. Now, with that being said, though, we've already seen allegations about the CWL, or the old Call of Duty roster, who got them their spot in the CWL. If you guys follow Call of Duty, a pretty prominent spot to obtain, and that former roster has come forward and complained about not being paid. Zach has now responded once the situation went public. He set aside some funding for that team once they get their visas to actually be paid, but along with that, never responded to the fact that that old roster never got paid for the spot for CWL they qualified for, because shortly after they qualified for the CWL, that spot being in the league, Denial kicked that entire old roster. So it was still allegations not being talked about or actually explained about that, and hopefully the future they will be paid as well by Denial. And now even further allegations brought to us by JProf as well and other players out there. Now I do need to preface by saying, as of yesterday as well, within a few hours after this post, it's been cleared up apparently as a credit card issue. Apparently within 2 to 3 months of paying these players via PayPal, these were old players from the old Denial roster that Zach, when he came on board, he promised to pay them, so he paid them all through PayPal. But now apparently 2 to 3 months later, after paying them, all of their PayPal transactions were being disputed and refunded and taken back. So I must clarify, in case I am wrong, it just seems very suspicious for all this to come around again against the same organization who has been accused countless times of very similar tactics. Now I also must clarify as well, these tweets have now since been deleted, so it does offer probably more proof to the fact that these players have now been paid, but the timelines is where it gets suspicious, right? Have these Denial guys only been paid now because they brought it public and everyone started talking about it? Of course, Denial is now a very common name out there when it comes times for scams, and so did they finally get paid again after this went public? We can't really know for the timelines for sure, but I will give them one credit where credit is due. Whenever these stories are brought public, which you wish they would be dealt with before they went public, whenever they are brought public, though, they seem to resolve them financially, that being the Call of Duty roster, although not everything's been cleared up there, and now these old Halo / I think Call of Duty guys as well being paid, then scammed, then paid again. At least they have now officially been paid, and that's why their tweets have been deleted. Before they were deleted, I have shown you guys as well those tweets where, yes, there was a PayPal transaction opened and disputed, and for a short amount of time, their funds were actually refunded from those players. And the crazy part is, if they had not been paid again, I know it's kind of hard to explain as well, this would not have been illegal. For all of you guys who do not know, for an online transaction with no proof of services or no proof of an actual transaction between, of course, the buyer and the seller in this case, there is no way that he would probably lose this transaction or lose this dispute, despite if PayPal does look in subjectively and say, hey, why are you charging back 2 or 3 months later? That's the only weird looking part about this. But people do this all the time, especially when you see a lot of websites out there do not have PayPal as an option, because if it's an online transaction, I'll give you guys a little insight. I used to actually buy RuneScape Gold. Can I get banned for this? But because that gold was actually an in-game transaction, therefore on the online world, it was pretty much impossible to prove that transaction did take place, because you can fake accounts, so on and so forth. If anyone who sold me gold charged back or vice versa, it was very easy to lose those cases, and unfortunately enough, you got scammed quite a bit in that scene. So this would be a same case like that, and he probably would have gotten away with it if his name was not so public, that being Denial and Zach, about scamming already. So yes, the players have now been paid, but it just all adds up to this overwhelming story about Denial, because they have the old owner, now the new owner, and just everyone seemingly a part and connected to this organization has been being scammed or in some way being disrespected left and right. I hope to bring you guys a good Denial story sometime soon. But very lastly, even one of their very own teams out there, despite Call of Duty, despite CSGO, despite other esports they are currently involved in, now their PUBG squad, or at least one of their players, is calling out and saying they want to remove Zach from esports. Esports. This organization is in sheer turmoil, and I really am going to be surprised to see how long they do last, especially with all of these stories arising around them. As always, my name is Jake. I hope you guys all enjoy. What do you think about this? It was a hectic way to start the day, but I am back doing esports news without my glasses on. I apologize for the reflection. I'll leave these at my desk next time. As always, though, my name is Jake, and I will see you all back here sometime soon with other esports news. Okay, goodbye.